Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 75 of the Generic Gaming Podcast.mp3, the podcast where we talk about a new video game every single week. My name is Logan Myrie, and as always, I'm joined by my esteemed co-host and sound engineer, Eric Kraus.
I just took a shower and my hair is doing this weird thing that I don't really like, you know?
Eric, I don't have Skype up. Let me pull it. Let me take a hard look at you, you know?
Oh, okay.
You wanna swoop it around a little bit? I can't
Swoop
see
it around. I can just do one of these.
Yeah, let me see you. I think it's looking fresh. You look good.
I don't know. I feel like these days I really don't care. Like I don't try as hard as I used to with my hair. I used to like put pomade in it, do this whole shebang. Now I'm just like whatever my hair looks like.
Yeah, my hair is looking kind of broke, but it's because that's just how it is, and I need a haircut. But I have to put pomade in, or else my hair is naturally like so coarse and like dry. It's just how it is. I condition literally every day, and it's a whole thing. But I have to put pomade in if I'm not gonna like wear a hat or something, and it still looks not great. But you know,
my hair is very thin, so it just kind of does what it wants.
Yeah, I've always wanted. I know it's bad because it'll probably fall out at some point, but I've always wanted thin hair because I wanted to be able to do like all the cool wavy shit.
Oh yeah.
My hair is just more of like a tumbleweed. It's like a very thick. I don't know, man. The horse that comes on a bear.
In this is completely tangential, no reason to be on this podcast, but in like middle school, this girl really, because I had really thin hair, she wanted me to do, and Justin Bieber was very big at the time.
Yeah.
And so she wanted me to do this stuff, and I'm like, I don't, and she was like, you just have to wear a hat to sleep, and you do all this stuff. I'm like, I don't care that much.
That's too much work.
Yeah. And I pretty much had that mentality through my whole life is I don't care that much about what my hair looks like.
Yeah, I just wear a lot of hats. Like, whenever I can wear a hat, I'm wearing a hat, you know?
Yeah, you are a big hat wearer.
But that's just because, you know, you don't want to get up and do the hair. If you're going to class or whatever, it's just, like, too much work. No one there cares either.
Yeah, no, everyone's just putting in the least amount of effort. They're just showing up.
I swear, we're going to get to video games at some point. But, Eric, my hair grows really fast, right? I need to get a haircut, like, once every month and a half, probably, right? Like,
yeah, you probably get haircuts more than anyone I know.
Yeah, it's like every 5 weeks because it just gets thick. I get like a helmet, right? It grows out real big.
Yeah.
We're in quarantine times. I don't know what's gonna happen when I need a haircut, and it's bad too. Like I can't stand it when it gets like that. It gets really thick and like just sweaty and like gross. I feel like. So I literally might have to just like try to cut my own hair. I have no clue.
Yeah, I mean, good luck.
We can do it on stream. It'd be like a fun little like late for embargo Logan cuts his hair thing.
Yeah, exactly. Always thinking of the content. I like it.
Yeah, it's not gonna go. I know it wouldn't go well, but
No,
maybe
it would
who
be
knows?
awful. It'd just ruin your hair probably. But it grows quick, so you'd be fine.
that is the nice thing. It would grow out very very quickly. Eric, this is not a hair podcast. This is a video game podcast.
Maybe it should be. Should we just become hairstylists?
Yeah, dude. I think I'd be really bad at it. I'm real shaky. I feel like I would fuck up someone's hair so bad, and then they would stab me.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Especially, dude. I feel like that's a profession that like just people are probably really mean to those people when they don't get exactly the kind of haircut they want. You know what I mean? And that shit's like hard. You can't cut that yourself, really. So I feel for the hairstylists of the world.
I mean, they go to school and practice that stuff.
No, yeah, I'm saying they're good at their jobs, you know what I mean? But one little, you know, and especially because people are awful at telling them what they want, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, make it look like this. And you're like, well, that's not really how your hair looks.
Yeah.
So I just imagine that's kind of a profession that is maybe not so fun sometimes.
Have you ever done the thing where, like, you bring in a picture and they're like, I want my hair cut like this?
No.
Oh.
I have it down. I always go in and say the same thing. I'm like, I want to fade on the sides, 1.5 down to a 1, cut an inch off the top, blend it, hard part on this side, blend it on this side. That's what I always say.
I don't do the picture thing because that just makes me nervous and I feel like they're judging me hard for that.
Yeah.
But my friend always brings in a picture of, or like he has a picture of Chris Evans on his phone.
And he says, just make me look like this.
And he just like, I just make me look like this.
And they're like, you got to work out a little bit, guy.
Yeah, you gotta try a lot harder.
Eric, this is a video game podcast. I want to know what you've been playing.
I've been playing way too much Monster Hunter right now. Monster Hunter World. I haven't even bought Iceborne yet, even though Iceborne's been out since like September, I think. But I've just been playing the base game Monster Hunter. and man, I'm in deep. I'm
Yeah,
drawn
so
in this
so
game.
you played this game a lot when it came out, right? And now that we have kind of all this time on our hands, you've been jumping back in.
Yeah.
Uh, and you don't do you feel the need like you're gonna need to get the expansion, or is there just enough content to kind of keep you going for a while?
So yeah, we'll back up a little bit. I got the game when it originally came out, and I put about 130 hours into it.
It's a long time. It's a lot of time
very
to play
long
into a
time.
game.
Played a lot of that game, and then just stopped playing for whatever reason. Destiny expansion came out or whatnot. I don't know. But then yeah, lately I've been hankering to go back into it, but I just never really had the reason to because it's kind of a team game. You know, you play with your friends.
Yeah.
But just recently, my brother finally got a PS4 in the quarantines. He needed something to do, so he bought a PS4, and he got Monster Hunter World with it. And so I'm like, sweet, I have that game. Let's play it together. It gives me a reason to play the game. And so yeah, I jumped back in with him, and I've been kind of like power leveling him because I'm
Oh,
like
because
a
you're so
pretty
much
high
higher level than
yeah.
he is.
Yeah, exactly. And so I've been playing with him a bunch. And then I also just been jumping on during the day. And so, like, yesterday, I played 10 hours of this game just yesterday, which was insane.
That's crazy.
I started playing with my brother at, like, around 130 hours, and I have about 153 hours clocked in now.
Oh
So
my
I put
god! So
about
just in like a week.
23 hours. Yeah, of playing this game in, like, the last 3 days, which is kind of insane.
I want you to stop talking about it, I think, because I feel like now I'm like, oh man, I bet I could jump in and have fun with this game, but I
Yeah.
know that I won't. Like, I just know I'm not gonna like it.
Yeah, you're not a big fan of, like, gear grindy games, are you?
No, not really. And I've never played a Monster Hunter game, and I just feel like I would feel, I don't know, like I would feel overwhelmed and you know, behind the
Yeah.
loop, right? Like it's the thing whenever your friends play games, right? And they're like, "Oh, you should get this," and you jump in, and they're like fucking level 700, and they're like, "Oh yeah, now you gotta jump on this box and fucking super jump over here or whatever." You're like, "What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Like, how do I
Yeah.
swing this sword?"
Monster Hunter does have, I say, a pretty high barrier to entry too, because there's just so many systems in the game, and it's just like real. It has a lot it throws at you right away. But Monster Hunter World does a good job of kind of like easing you in, but it's still a lot of stuff you have to figure out. So
all
it
right.
can be overwhelming.
Eric, I've been playing a little game called Animal Crossing: New Horizons. Bum 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 bum. Game of the show. Hell yeah. Eric, this game is a worldwide phenomenon. I've never seen a video game. I've never seen anything take over my Twitter timeline as much as Animal Crossing has.
Oh, maybe coronavirus.
No, oh yeah, maybe. But even so, it's like, I swear to God, it's 50-50. It's like
Yeah.
coronavirus, Animal Crossing, Tiger King. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
all, it
all
consists of.
anyone's talking about right now.
It's weird times we live in.
Yeah, insane. Eric, and I want to talk about this game because I've been putting insane amounts of time into it. I checked my clock today, and I got the game, the day it released, and I've been playing every single day for a couple hours. So I have like almost 40 hours in this game already.
Yeah, I haven't looked at my clock, but I should have done it right before the show. But I imagine I'm somewhere close. I don't think I've hit 40 hours, but I definitely had a few days there where I was playing 4 or 5 hours a day.
Yeah, and I think this will be interesting because Animal Crossing is a series that I've known about, but I didn't really know anything about. I was like, oh, it's you go and you live in a village and you pick weeds or whatever, right? And so this is my first foray into the Animal Crossing series. Is that the same for you?
Yeah, I've had the GameCube version, and then but I never played it. Just my sister played it, and my brother also had the version for the DS, but I never played that one either. That was just what he played. And so I've seen people play Animal Crossing, and I've been a part of Animal Crossing from an outside perspective, but I've never played it myself.
Yeah. So what has been? I mean, there's not really a way to spoil Animal Crossing. So I don't
No.
know if you're nervous about hearing what kind of bugs exist or whatever. I guess be weary. But what is your experience been like so far playing Animal Crossing?
I enjoy the game. It's very fun. It's very much just a chore simulator, though. I think, and it has a little bit more aspects to that. But I think at its core, like you just jump on, you do your mundane chore things, and then once you do all that, you kind of just get off for a little bit and wait for the time, the time to reset for things to basically do it again. And
Yeah.
obviously that sounds pretty negative. I love that.
Yeah, that sounds right up your alley.
Yeah,
You love doing
exactly.
chores.
I love doing chores almost as much in real life as I love doing it in video games. And so uh, it's a very fun aspect. I kind of think I went a little too hard and fast with it at first because I'm a little burnt out of it right now. I still jump on every day and do like the kind of easy, quick chores to get done, but like I just kind of am accumulating bells slowly. Like I feel like when I first started playing, I was just like, just grind, pay off the loan, grind, pay off the loan, and trying to get everything done as quickly as possible. Like get as much done in that one day that you could possibly get done. And so like I feel like I've kind of burnt myself out a little bit, and so I'm kind of slowing myself down because I still very much enjoy just jumping on, doing a couple things here or there, get my Nook Bank bonus miles or whatever, and then hopping off, playing Monster Hunter, playing anything else.
Yeah, it's interesting because I actually feel I don't feel like that. I feel like I kind of go into playing the game thinking that I'm just gonna do some chores, right, and go in and kind of get all the shit on my island and sell it and gain bells and then be done or whatever. But I found myself like continuously trying to like squeeze as most of I can out of the day, right? And it's like it's not even like I feel like there isn't enough to do. It's like I feel like there's a ton of stuff I can be doing, so I'm trying to do it like all in one day. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to get the most out of each day. And it's funny because like I feel like my closest touch point to this game was like Stardew, right? Stardew Valley. Because that game kind of has a similar loop, right? Like you get up, you know, you do your farming, you go fishing or whatever, you gain money, you kind of talk to all your villagers or whatever. And I fell off that game super quick because I just felt like maybe that game had too much going on for me. I kind of got overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't know, man. I just want to fish. Like I really like the fishing mini game in Stardew.
Yeah.
And I, you know, or like, oh, I'm in the mines, and I just kind of felt like everything moved really fast, and I wasn't like maximizing my time very well. Whereas I feel like Animal Crossing has similar things, but it's so pared down, like that I just feel like its simplicity is like what hooks me so deeply that I just play every day for multiple hours, even though it's just a chill, you know, put on a podcast or whatever kind of game.
Yeah, I definitely, that aspect of it too is something I really like, is that you don't have to really pay attention to what's going on. You can kind of do it passively, and so you could kind of listen to something else, watch something else while you do it. And we talk about how we love those games all the time, so I'm not really
love a
go
podcast
into,
game.
Yeah, go into that, but like it's just another good aspect about it. The thing I do wish that was kind of, obviously you see people on Twitter just like posting all these things about how they like do multiplayer stuff. I feel like for the people not trying to get Twitter clout or not trying to do all these kind of cool things with the multiplayer, there's not really any real incentive to do it for like just a normal player. And so like we have a good chill group on our Discord, which you should join if you want to be a part of Animal Crossing conversations and go to people's islands. Link is in the description. But like we have our group, but like we don't really go to each other's islands that much. We did like a couple things, like we went to each other's islands on stream and stuff, but like there's no real reason for us to do it other than to sell items.
Yeah, there was kind of that initial push because it was like, oh, what fruit do you have, right? Like the thing in Animal Crossing is everyone has like a starter fruit on their island. Like I had peaches, right? And you had I don't remember.
I had
apples. Yeah. And so it's really easy to be like, okay, you have apples or whatever. Let me come to your island, pick your apples. You can come to my island, pick my peaches, and then I'll plant them. And then now I have apples on my island, right?
Yeah. Now I have no reason to come to your island anymore.
Yeah, and then but once you're there, it is like kind of you kind of get what resources you need or sell what you need, and there isn't a whole lot else to do. And I know people are doing things, right? Like you were talking about Grimecraft is kind of like doing a bunch of fun stuff on Animal Crossing, right? You want to explain that?
Yeah. So over at twitch.tv/Grimecraft. He's a DJ in real life, and so like he's hosting these DJs parties in Animal Crossing where he'll stream himself DJing, and like he'll set up like his island to have like a DJ party, and like he'll just like put his like friend code up, and so people could come visit his island, hang out in Animal Crossing while watching his stream to listen to him DJ.
Yeah, see, and that's really cool, but the game doesn't. You kind of have to invent that stuff for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like the game doesn't give you kind of stuff to do with your friends, which does feel disappointing because as far as I know, this is kind of the first game where you can do the social stuff, like, you know, actual like online multiplayer. And it does sort of feel lacking in that sense. Like you go to your island and we played a little game on our friend I Blame My Rolls. He's part of our Twitch community and everything. And he did this game where he like buried some stuff around the island, and he was like, all right, there's 3 duds or whatever and 1 like actual prize, and if you get it, I'll give you a bunch of bells. And that was super fun, right? And
Yeah.
there are like little mini games that you can kind of make up, but I do wish that there was a little bit more there, just kind of actually built into the game.
Yeah, just like ways to maybe like set up like games. Like people have been creating games like Blames did. I've also seen like this net game where the people create these arena and it's first to hit the other person in the head with the net. But like I wish they would have like put in like actual games like you could like in Animal Crossing. Like if they put in like goat carts or something, or
Yeah.
like put in like these other like little mini games that you could play with friends. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, and that's not to say that like I understand that this is a game that probably already took so many freaking resources and things to make, right? Because
Yeah.
it's this giant sprawling game that you're gonna play every day for a year or whatever. But it does feel like since it's there, it maybe could be a little bit better. And it is like super cumbersome to even get to someone else's island. There's this whole you have to go through this whole rigmarole of like finding them on your friends list and stuff, and then there's like a huge loading screen, a long like 4-minute loading screen, and then they come to your island, and then you get a loading screen. You can't like do anything while they're coming down, right? It's just kind of a whole thing.
Yeah, it's very like intrusive feeling when someone visits your island. Or
Yeah,
leaves.
it's by no means like seamless. It isn't like they just show up and now they're here, right? It's like
Yeah.
a whole they like make a whole big deal about it.
And like it happens to everyone who's on that island too, which is
Um,
annoying.
yeah, but I maybe we should dig more into the actual core game, right? So I found this game really interesting because I'm not. I don't know. I was talking about this a little bit with you, but I feel like I'm not a very habitual person. I don't get up every day and like make myself breakfast and like get a cup of coffee or whatever, leave exactly. It's like I'm just not a very habitual person. But this game has like fueled that like creating habits in me, right? Like I get up every day, I pick all the fruit on my island because I just feel like fruit is like it's fun to do, it's easy to do, I get a lot of money for it, right? And then I go and dig for fossils because the fossils are cool. You go to the little Blathers guy in the museum. He's like, oh, this is what it is. And we need this in our museum. And you build out your museum, right? And then I'll go like hit all the rocks and get as much like resources as I can there. And then if I need to like chop some trees, I'll chop some trees to get wood. And then I'll just like fish. I like to fish a lot. So I'll do that. And that's kind of like a thing I'm doing every day on top of like some of the other goals I'm trying to hit, right? Do you kind of have that built in, Eric? Do you feel like you're doing kind of a similar routine every day?
I would say it's that nitty gritty. I feel like yours definitely extends further than mine does. I'd say I log in, you get the Nook, Tom Nook gives his announcement, or Isabel, depending on where you're at. And then I usually go to the bank thing, get my miles bonus. And then I usually have some sort of goal for that day. Like I was either waiting for something to like reset or waiting for a house to be built or something like that. And so so I'm like, okay, gonna work towards that. But first, I'm gonna go around my island, get all the fossils, gather the fruits, and pick any weeds because I hate having weeds on my island, dude. I pick them the second I see them. I hate it. And so I'll do all that. I basically call it my island maintenance. So that's gonna be the first thing I do. And then once I get all that out of the way, I'll start working towards like my my certain goals that I have. So if I need to pay off Tom Nook, I'll do a bunch of that stuff. Currently, I have just been fishing because I'm fishing for rares. I unfortunately never got the March fish, the
Stringfish. It'll be back later in the year, but that is
Yeah.
like a long ways away.
Yeah, I fished for him for literal hours. I think I spent probably 5 hours just fishing for this fish. It was basically fish, go collect manila clams to make the bait, fish, rinse and repeat. And I never got him. I was so upset. But now I have insane amounts of fish just in my storage. So I'm waiting for the fish sale or the fish buyer to show up. I forgot what the animal's name is, but I'm waiting for him to.
Yeah,
show
his name's
up.
like CJ. He's a cool like sports guy, and he has a fish show.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for him to show up, and then I'm just gonna make tons of money, and so then I'll just use that to pay off my loan to Tom Nook. So because I have that basically, I have the money just in non-currency form. I haven't really been working on getting bells, and so I've been spending the bells I do have to try to improve my house. So I'm collecting kitchen equipment because I'm gonna try to put a kitchen together in one of my rooms that I'll get. But currently the room I have on, like my main room, is like the first room you walk in. I have on the left side of it all set up for like music stuff to make it look like kind of a just like a band practicey area. And then in my back room, I have it like set up for my bedroom, and so like I have like all sorts of like lounging equipment, like furniture and stuff like that. And so like I feel like decorating my island is like my biggest goal, is to make my island look real cool. And like I've even been setting up, like you talked about how you have it, you're kind of going for this all natural look, and so you haven't been really placing your trees, but I'm kind of going for this very structured look. So like right when you walk into my island, like I just have a row of trees leading you in, and so I'm basically just rearranging my island slowly but surely. And then I don't even know why, because once you unlock the terraforming tool, I'm probably gonna rearrange the whole thing again. But like it's just something to do and something like to keep you occupied.
Yeah, it's weird. I've gotten, I think, the ability to terraform at this point, right? And I haven't, even with the trees and stuff. I've kind of been trying to keep the sort of overall layout of my island. Like I've been planting trees, but I haven't really been like uprooting them and moving them unless they're super kind of intrusive. Like it's just like blocking things. And I definitely am trying to keep it like, I don't know. I want it to kind of feel like an island, right? And so I've even been like with the houses, I'm not like putting them all in a row. I'm kind of trying to give each person their little like area, and I feel like that's super cool. And I feel like I really like the way my island looks. But if you came, you'd probably be like, this is, it looks like you just kind of threw things at random places.
Yeah, but I think that's the beauty of Animal Crossing. You make it how you want.
Yeah, I do appreciate that, because I think that the thing I think is really cool about this game is that you can kind of play it however you want, right? Like there's if you want to just at the beginning of the game stay in your tent and not ever upgrade or whatever, and just kind of do it that way and bring as many villagers or whatever as you want, like that's a totally fine thing to do. Well, actually, I think you need to build the house before you can actually get anyone else to your island.
Yeah,
but I do appreciate that it's all there, and the goals are kind of they're very clear, but you don't have to do that. You could have fun, being a fisherman or whatever, and just selling your fish and making your bells and whatever.
Yeah, and just become like a millionaire just off fish.
Speaking of that, I feel like everyone has all these like get rich quick schemes that they're trying to run, right? Like,
yeah.
Like you were talking about you're just fishing all the time and you're waiting for this dude to come so you can just sell him all your fish. And yesterday I had Flick come to my island, and he Flick is like the dinosaur that like likes bugs and wants to buy your bugs. And so I was going off to these Nook Mile islands, right, where you can spend your Nook Miles, get an island ticket, and go to like a random island with random resources, right? And I found one that had all of these like emperor butterflies, and so I caught all of them, like filled up my whole inventory, and went back and sold them to Flick for like 100,000 bells, dude. I was so pumped because I was trying to pay off a bridge.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's constantly how I'm doing it. Like I bought all on Sundays. Is it Savannah? What's the pig's name?
I don't know the turnip lady's name because she wasn't there for me, because she only shows up till like noon Central Time, and so I wasn't able to get her.
Yeah, and so on Sundays a little pig will come and sell these turnips, and the cool thing about the turnips is they're never like the same price.
Yeah.
So mine were like 110 bells per turnip, and I had like 40,000 bells at the time. I spent all my bells on turnips, and then the thing is that every day after that, multiple times a day, Timmy and Tommy, who are like the little shopkeepers, right, will change their like how much they're buying turnips for. So then you can go ask them, how much are you buying turnips for? They'll be like, 46 bells a turnip, and you'll be like, you little bastard, I bought these for 110. I want a profit. You better fucking raise these turnip prices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so now I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to get a profit, and I'm hoping to like maybe double my initial investment. It's called the stock market, but it's like STALK. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's been super interesting. Like, and I tweeted yesterday that I feel like I would be a really bad gambler because it's made me so nervous to have these turnips, because I'm so afraid that I'm never going to get my initial investment back. Like as soon as it's like it could be like 111 bells per turnip, and I'd sell because I'd at least make my money back.
Yeah. Well, you did pull the trigger. Couldn't you have profited a little bit a couple days ago?
No, not on my island. On your island, I could, but that was like a whole thing,
Yeah, then you have to.
Mine's been super low, dude. Timmy and Tommy are like, oh, we'll buy them back for like 42 bells of turnip, and I was like, you little pricks.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people on Twitter post like how many turnips they bought, and like they had to fill rooms with it because they didn't have enough slots in their inventory.
Yeah, and then they could potentially like double their their income or whatever, which is insane.
Just make tons of money.
I do wonder, Eric, do you feel weird at all? Because the game revolves around, stripping your island, basically. You're going around, you're hitting trees to get wood, you're hitting all the rocks. And when you go to the Nook Mile Islands, you're literally, like, devastating those islands, picking every flower.
You rip them bare.
You rip them bare. Do you feel, like, I mean, the game's super cute and, like, it's kind of got that wholesome vibe, but it also feels like a little sinister where you're just like taking over this entire island and like going to other islands and just decimating their landscapes and environments and ecosystems.
I mean, there's definitely probably a meta commentary you could make about that, but I feel that's how like all these kind of games are. Like even like survival games, it's all about deforestating everything and taking the resources.
Yeah, it wasn't until like, I don't know, man, a couple months ago that I even had started like reading about like how a lot of open world games are, and kind of sandbox games and stuff like this are sort of like colonialist leaning, where you kind of go and your whole thing is to like just overpower the people who usually live there and like decimate the resources and stuff. Yeah. And it's sort of dark to think about. So just, I don't know, maybe just focus on how cute it is.
Yeah. Or, just be more green in real life, and there you go.
Speaking of cute, Eric, how are you liking your islands or your villagers? I want to know about your villagers. I want to know about the people on your island.
I like all of my villagers so far. I have seen people, because I have Apple on my island, who's this like pink beard thing, koala maybe, I don't know, but I've seen people post like things on Twitter about her, and like it apparently looks like she becomes a shithead, so I'm a little worried about that. And I did have one conversation with her where like, I kind of see it. I kind of see why people don't like you, but I haven't had a need to kick people off my island yet. I only have 4 villagers. No, I have 5 villagers. So I don't have too many. You can hold 10 villagers on your island, so I still have room for 5 more. And so I haven't had any ones that are too bad yet. I feel like I know which ones are the bad ones now because people like complain about them so much.
Yeah. I feel weird about it because I really liked, you start with 2 villagers and then kind of the surrounding cast of people who live, like, have to be on your island, right? Like Tom Nook and Timmy and Tommy and I guess that's basically it. Mm-hmm. And I started with Mira, who's like a little yellow bunny that wears like a cool superhero mask, right? And she's super like chipper, right? And then I have a big chimp named Boone, who's like super into lifting weights or whatever. He's like a jock guy. And I like them fine. They're cool. And they always like say little funny things. And then I got a few more villagers, and I liked them as well. Like I got a little pop star like anteater girl, and I don't remember her name, but she's like, I think she's funny. And I liked the villagers I got, right? Mm. And then have you built like the campsite yet?
No, I don't think so.
So at some point you build like a campsite, and then new villagers will kind of come and stay there and decide if they want to live on your island. And I got this little bear. I think his name's like Rayburn or something. And he like is kind of dressed like a little college professor, and he kind of talks like very pretentiously and annoying. And I didn't want him on my island, right?
Yeah.
And so I talked to him. And he was like, oh man, I would love to live here. And the only options are like, yeah, you should come live here. And he's like, oh, will you go talk to the boss or whatever? And he's like referring to Tom Nook. And so I just didn't. I'm like, I'm just not going to do it and hope he leaves.
Yeah.
And I waited and he didn't leave. And so I'm like, oh man. And I talked about it in our Discord, and everyone was saying like, yeah, if someone does that and you talk to them, like they have to move there. And now I hate this bear.
Yeah.
But it feels like way too mean to go and like kick him off the island. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you already said yes.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, man. Who am I? Who am I to decide who lives on this island? You know, like, but I hate him, Eric. And I just don't. I'm like, I feel like at some point when my island's like kind of full, I'll probably like be mean to him to get him to move. But for now, it's just like, I don't know, man. It feels mean.
Wait till he settles down, digs in his roots, even harder for him to move.
Rip those roots up and kick him the fuck off.
Yeah, ruin all his connections. He's gonna plot your murder.
I put him intentionally like really far on one side of the island where no one else lives.
Where you terraform your island, just cut out a path for his house.
Yeah, like just a big river. That'd be kind of funny, actually. Yeah. Like, this is where you live. This is your own separate island.
Don't build any bridges to him either, so he can never leave.
Oh man, I have been kind of hitting a roadblock too, like you were saying with the loans. Like I'm at the point where I have 2 bedrooms and I'm like 300,000 bells or whatever in debt. But as in real life, I'm not really like a saver. So every time I have like 100,000 bells, I'm like, I should go buy a bridge or whatever instead of like putting it in my house. And I'm not sure I'll ever actually pay off this loan.
Yeah, that's not good in real life. You have loans coming up soon.
Oh yeah, that I do need to pay off, but they'll give me a monthly, bill or whatever, and I'll pay it.
Oh yeah, there you go. Tom Nook, yeah, not charging you anything ever.
No, he says pay it whenever you want. I'm like, I don't want to pay it, Tom Nook.
It's never gonna be paid, Tom Nook, even though it's all your currency, and I'm just paying with the money your sons give me.
Eric, I do want to talk about something else. When this game came out, this is the weirdest thing that I feel like's ever happened to me. And it's in retrospect, it's not that crazy. But this game came out, and we were playing it like the Saturday it came out, right? And I was like, oh man, we were playing around with the photo mode, and I was putting it into like black and white, and we were like, oh man, we should like remake the lighthouse in Animal Crossing. Wouldn't that be funny? Like spend months like just recreating the lighthouse. Which is that crazy indie whatever with Robert Pattinson where he, I don't want to describe what happens in the lighthouse. And then the very like next day or 2 days later, I see a Polygon article that's like Animal Crossing players are recreating the lighthouse in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I was
like, are you gotta be fucking kidding me, dude?
There's no original ideas anymore. Everyone just has the same idea. We're all a collective hive mind.
Yeah, but it felt weird, dude, because I was like, that's such a random movie, right? Like I don't like I understand it got like a lot of people liked it, but I feel like that's not even
we
super in the public
it.
consciousness.
We literally didn't do it because like that'd be a lot of work for a very niche thing where like no one's gonna care about this very niche movie. And, like it's only like film people really like this movie, and then all these people do it, and I was so upset.
Yeah, I thought it was funny though. I've been really enjoying like just taking little screenshots and like setting up little funny scenes and stuff. I've really enjoyed like you've gotten to the point where you can like make your flag and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't made it yet though.
Yeah, I had a ton of fun. It's really cool that the game has this kind of whole custom design mechanic where you can go in and they give you like a whatever 40 by 40 pixel art thing, and you can just go and do like little cool pixel art and put it on a shirt or like make a painting. Like, isn't that cool, dude?
Yeah.
I just feel like it's so the amount of I don't know what I'm trying to say. Customizability, is that the word?
Yeah.
That was hard to get out. is like actually insane.
I love that there's like interfaces that work with it too. Like you could scan in like a JPEG picture and it could convert it to a pixel art that you can put into the game, which I think
that's cool. Crazy, dude. And like pretty much all the furniture is customizable, like with different colors. And so even if you have all the same stuff as someone, like you have a completely different kind of layout.
Yeah, you have the ability to basically make it your own, which I think is really cool.
I've also been super impressed with like even in the house, it's kind of this whole grid thing, but you can kind of stack stuff too. So I feel like in a lot of games with these kind of I don't know what you want to call them, like you can kind of take parts and customize the space, right? But I've been super impressed how like just how customizable the spaces are to make them look sort of organic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the house, like it doesn't look like I just kind of hodgepodged a bunch of stuff that I had. It actually looked like a little room, which I just found very cool.
Yeah, you can like actually decorate a room to have a theme and look a certain way, which I really like. I do have the problem where this is just throughout all of Animal Crossing, where just placing or doing something is just kind of, it's kind of tedious, right? Because it doesn't work. It's not super tight. Like it takes me 2 times to dig up a hole basically every time I want to dig up a hole in the right spot. And if I'm trying to place a large carpet, I still don't know how to place one. I have to run around my room just spinning in circles until it places, and then I'll go into like the design mode or the decoration mode and then move it to where I want. Like I can't just walk in the room, hit place, and it places. Like I don't get how it works. I still don't know.
It's weird because for all intents and purposes, the island is sort of on a grid, right? Like every hole is kind of like a 1x1 thing, right? But your character doesn't seem to move kind of like that, right? Like you have full 3D kind of control. So it's like, I always feel like I'm fighting my character to get him to like aim the place I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, I notice it the most with digging holes and then with fishing. Like it's so hard to aim where I want with the fish.
And this was another thing. I like fishing. I think it's super fun. I like to go out and like try to catch a fish I haven't gotten, right. But I think it's just from playing Stardew that I find Stardew fishing was so fun, dude. Because you'd go and you'd kind of place your lure and like wait for a fish, and you had to play that whole little mini game where you're like tapping A to try to keep the fish in bounds or whatever, pretty much. And in Animal Crossing, you kind of just go and you see like a little shadow of a fish, and you toss your lure out right in front of them, and it's sort of wonky because if you get it kind of in their periphery, they won't do it.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I think it's fun, but I just feel like it could be more fun, and that's kind of how I feel about a lot of the mechanics in the game. Right? It all is like, it's all fun and it's fun to do, and it's all like fun to build towards this thing, but the actual action of doing it isn't that satisfying.
Yeah. It could. Yeah. I feel like the once we get maybe a few more patches in, I think the game will be hopefully a lot tighter. And just
I don't know, man, because I feel like maybe this is just how Animal Crossing is. Like, this is there's been a lot of these games, and I feel like maybe that's just how they are.
That's kind of disappointing.
Well, yeah, like I can't imagine that they're gonna drastically change the way this game works.
Well, maybe they'll just make it so the fish have a wider field of view, that I'll be happy.
No, that would be nice. Yeah. They're just now starting, as of today when we're recording this, they're doing a Bunny Day, I think it's called, right? And so now all like a bunch of the trees are pink, and there's all these eggs you have to go collect and stuff. So that's been kind of fun. I like that it seems like they're gonna really support this and like keep it going with new events and stuff.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see like where this game's at the end of the year, and how much in the zeitgeist it still is.
Dude, I actually it's weird because I've never said this about a game before. I can see myself continuously jumping back into this game.
Like throughout
even
the
if
year.
it's just maybe if it's once a week, dude, or whatever. Like, and if they add new stuff, I can imagine me being like, yeah, dude, I'm ready to jump back in. Like, and maybe that's not true because that I always think that, but so far this game has had incredible sticking power.
Yeah, we'll see how. I'm wondering because like I think the next big game that will like kind of take over will be The Last of Us Part 2. And so we'll see if The Last of Us kills it or not,
See, again, but I feel like The Last of Us is the kind of game that I would jump in, I'd play for a couple hours, and then be like, all right, let's go jump into Animal Crossing for half an hour or whatever.
Let's be happy now.
Yeah, like, let's get a break from this, like, drab sort of, like, murder fest or whatever, you know what I mean? And let's go talk to some anthropomorphic villagers and plant flowers.
Yeah, let's get out of this world plagued by infection.
Yeah, a little too real, huh?
Yeah.
What else did I have to say, Eric? I've just been really enjoying my time. I feel like we were sort of down on certain aspects, but I think that I've had so much fun with this game, dude. Like, it's actually crazy.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a really fun game. I'm glad. I wasn't even thinking of getting it at first. I'm like, Animal Crossing is not for me. I've never enjoyed Animal Crossing, never played one. So I'm like, I'll let everyone get it, but then you got it. Then everyone in our Twitch community got it, and I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm gonna get it. And then
we had one stream where you didn't have it, and then immediately you're like, dude, I might buy this game today.
Yeah. It was just kind of everyone's talking about it, and so that FOMO hits hard, and then it was worth it. I feel like I've definitely been burned by FOMO before, but I don't think I was burned this time.
Yeah, see, I had FOMO even before the game came out, dude. Everyone was like, Animal Crossing, I can't wait for Animal Crossing. And just because of, like, the situation that we were in, with working from home and just kind of being indoors all the time, I was so I'm like, this game is going to be so good for this.
Yeah.
And it does. It really feels like this game has been so perfect for this time. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's got all this extra time to go and do all this cool Animal Crossing stuff. And I really appreciate it. I appreciate the levity. You know what I mean? I'm glad that The Last of Us didn't launch, now.
Yeah, me too.
I will say, I don't know what I will say.
Okay.
But because everyone's playing it, Eric, we're gonna do a thing that we've never done before, right? And we were thinking about who we wanted to have on the show, right? Because we're like, we'd love to have guests on. All our friends are playing this game. So we're going to have all of them on. And basically what that means is instead of a hot topic, for the latter half of the show, we're going to have like call-in people basically. And we're going to talk to different groups of our friends or whatever just to get their reactions or, what they've been doing in Animal Crossing. And they'll be sort of bite-sized, 5 to 15 minutes or whatever. And that'll be super fun. So I think let's get into the first one. Our first caller is calling in right now. You know what I mean? Maybe we can play a little phone call thing, whatever. Boop, 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 boop. And then on the other end, I'll do boop, 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 boop. And then they'll come in. You know what I mean? So let's
Am I
get to
cutting
it.
right there?
Yeah, let's get to it. Oh, it looks like we have our first caller. Hello, who is this?
Hello, I'm Cardboard Cutouts, card_board_ on Twitter.
Ah, yes. Go follow Cardboard on Twitter. Cardboard, you are part of our Late for Embargo community, and we're very happy to have you on. This is the first time you've been on the Late for Embargo or the generic gaming podcast at MP3. Always forget about the name. And we're really excited to have you here.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I've been wanting to be here since day one.
Well, if this is kind of your audition. If this goes well, we'll have you back for another episode.
Maybe do the Melee podcast you want. So
Cardboard, you've been playing a bunch of Animal Crossing New Horizons, and I want to know more about that. Have you played an Animal Crossing game before this
Yeah, I played New Leaf.
on 3DS?
Yeah.
And how much of that game did you play?
The summer I got it, I played it like all day, every day, until I
damn.
lost it eventually. But I put probably a couple thousand hours into it, maybe.
Oh, damn. Okay, so you were like hardcore Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
So coming into New Horizons, were you pretty like jacked about it?
Yeah, I was really excited. I was thinking how much I was gonna miss New Leaf, because I love New Leaf's music. I think it has the best soundtrack in the Animal Crossing series.
How are you feeling about New Horizons soundtrack so far?
I like it. It has a very different feeling to it, just like the different instruments they use, and like different tone that it has. But it's pretty good.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed that's sort of interesting is like when I upgraded like my town hall or whatever, I feel like the soundtrack sort of like brought like they're playing more like sounds now. If that I don't know, has anyone else noticed that?
I haven't upgraded my town, or I haven't been in my town long enough to upgrade it.
I haven't noticed that.
All right. And so you had high expectations for New Horizons. Do you feel like you're really enjoying the game overall? You have any gripes with it?
I feel like it's just a direct upgrade to New Leaf.
Like they took all the stuff that you liked and made it better?
Yeah, pretty much. There are a couple things that I do miss. Like I miss Brewster, who's an owl guy, and he sold you coffee, and he had a coffee shop.
Oh, that's fun. What's the deal with it? And he's not in this game at all?
I don't think he is. I haven't seen anything about him if he is.
I feel like Eric, I don't know if you have I feel like Cardboard, you out of all of our little group of people, I feel like you're kind of the farthest along in this game. Like you have the most, I don't know, like you already didn't you caught the stringfish, yeah?
Yeah, the oarfish?
Oh yeah, the big fish, the big one that was just about to be discontinued or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just when we came to your island, I was impressed because you were quite a bit ahead of where we all were.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're gonna keep playing do you feel like this is gonna have the kind of same like sticking power as New Leaf did for you? Like you feel like you're ready to put a couple more 1,000 hours in this one?
Yeah, I feel because at the beginning of the game, like when I started playing it, or New Horizon, I just couldn't put it down. There was so much for me to do. I had to do I'd like pick up all the weeds. I had to get all the fruit. I had to sort everything out. And then like now that I have a lot more stuff done and that I have like less chores, I find myself like stopping to play the game for for like a bit to go play something else and then coming back. But yeah, I do play this game a lot and I do feel like I will continue to.
That's good. And so with your island, like Eric and I were talking about earlier, how we kind of like Eric kind of has like a plan for his island, and I've been kind of going like freeform. Like I'm kind of like going with the kind of setup that my island already has. Do you feel like you have like an overall goal for your island? Like, do you have a lot of stuff planned out, but like where you want things to be, or are you kind of winging it like I am?
Yeah, I'm just kind of winging it. It's one of the reasons why I like going to other people's islands, so I can just like get inspiration for what I'm gonna do with mine. I can just see how I want mine to be, because when I started, I didn't have a plan, but now that I'm further along and I've been organizing stuff, I kind of have a plan. Like I have a certain area for villager houses. I have an area for fruit trees and
Mm,
like yeah.
that's
Like,
cool.
do you like designing all your stuff, or do you rather just like do the?
I feel like designing my island to look how I want it to be is it's one of the main points of the game, right? So I want it to be pretty, like I want it to look how I want it.
Cardboard, I'm curious. I have a feeling that you're probably a little bit ahead of us with like the house. Like, what's your house look like right now? With like what like loan are you on?
My current, I think it's like a little over a million,
Oh shit.
and so I have the 3 rooms on the first floor, and then I have the upstairs.
Yeah, so I'd say you're probably a couple upgrades ahead of where I am.
Quite a few.
What's your house look like right now? You wanna take me on a little audio tour through it? Like, what's going on in there?
All right, so you walk in, and then there's this, I don't know what it's called, but there's like bamboo thing that like drips water into a bucket, and that's like the centerpiece of the living room, I guess.
Oh, like instead of like a chandelier kind of thing.
Yeah.
Bamboo.
And then the room that's like right in front of the entrance is the bathroom. So I have a little hot tub, I have some towels, a toilet. um, I have the kitchen to the left. It has like a stove. I think it has. I don't have a place for a microwave though, because I bought it from TNT, but I don't have a place for it because I can't get like a good table because I need to find the crafting recipe for a really good one.
So that brings me to the question. I feel like that's an issue I've kind of run into a bunch where I'm like, I just feel like I don't have the recipes or like the access to a lot of the stuff that I want. Like I want like a little like kitchenette kind of like setup, you know what I mean? But I feel like I don't have the recipes. Like where are you primarily finding like good recipes? Is it just like I don't know, is there like a method to finding a lot of recipes or is it just kind of every day you're finding a couple?
Kind of both. So you can talk to your villagers and they can give you recipes, and you can also find them like daily from the bottle near the beach.
Mhm.
And then you can also get them by shooting down the balloons with your slingshot.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I feel like I need to get get in my routine of like going to talk when I go to talk to everyone every day, like making sure I check the houses to see if my neighbors or whatever have recipes, and also like making sure I look out for the balloons and
Yeah.
the bottles. I usually get the bottles because obviously they're just like on the beach, but
Right now, the balloons are especially important because like the whole Easter event
oh
where
yeah,
you can get the different type of eggs from the balloons.
this so I have you found all the eggs yet?
I haven't found all of them, but I have 5 of the
Mm.
6.
Because I feel like I'm at a loss here because I got the one from the this is honestly not even related to the podcast. I really am just trying to find these eggs. I got like one from the ground, right? Like I dug one up. I got one
Yeah.
from the water. I got one from a tree. And I think I shot one from a balloon. Like I don't know where else I'm supposed to find these. Oh, from the rock. You know what? I feel like I'm just missing one more, and I don't really know where to find it. You know?
Yeah, you can get them from when you hit the rock.
Okay, okay. I'll
Yeah,
check
you
it
get
out.
them you get them from the rock, from hitting trees, from shaking trees, fishing, from balloons.
I want to figure out what's going on with this bunny guy too, because he comes and his name's like Zipper, and he's like, "I'm a
Yeah.
bunny. I'm not wearing a costume." And he's like, "Don't check." And then when you look away from like when he looks away from you, he literally like has a zipper up his back. And
He's like
I just feel like this
dude.
guy's a shady character.
Creepy
He's
old
been
dude.
here since New Leaf. Like he's been here for a while.
Oh, he was like an established character as well.
Yeah.
Is he a
So I
creepy
just
old-
find that really funny. Sorry, Eric, you go.
is he a creepy old dude in costume, creeping on all these people?
Like I feel like everyone in the game is like an animal, right? Except for you. And I feel like maybe he's like the only other like person, and he's like just in this bunny suit, and I find that unnerving a little bit.
he's
Actually
just
pretty
here to give you presents.
Suspicious again.
fun collecting
Uh,
his eggs.
Yeah, he just wants you to get out there and collect his eggs. I don't know why, dude. He went through all this effort too to like put them up in the trees and stuff, and like in the water. You have to catch them. I
Yeah,
respect the hustle.
he did what Blame did. And if you want to find out what Blame did, you can check out Late for Embargo on Twitch.
Oh yeah, late for twitch.tv/late for embargo. Join our Discord. We had that was a fun thing. That's another thing. We were talking about how we felt like we wish there was more to do in the online, social aspect, like when we play with our friends. Have you kind of felt the same thing? Like it was fun when we did that, but I do wish there was more to do on other people's islands.
I feel like with like having stuff to do on islands, it's because you can make like your own like little game thing, I guess. Like what with Blame did, where he had like the little scavenger hunt. You can like do hide and seek. You can have a little fight to the death with nets. So I feel like most of that is just like you put in effort to have extra stuff to do online.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it is kind of on us, and we should. And that's the nice thing about that. This has been such a cool thing for our like community, and like obviously we've gotten to go to your island, and I Blame My Rolls' island, and he's going to be on a future segment during this episode too, and so we'll get to talk to him. But I would like to keep doing that kind of stuff. I think this has been a really cool like community builder. Cardboard, thank you so much for coming. Quickly, do you want to let people know where else they can find you?
On Twitter at card_board_. I rarely post, but when I do, they're good tweets.
Yep.
and then I have a Twitch, cardboard cutouts on Twitch. I stream Pokemon, randomizer Nuzlocke.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for coming, and really, we're gonna get you on an episode here in the future, I think. Anyways,
Right.
I think that we have another caller. Boop 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 boop, and then we'll do the thing, Eric, where you cut it and.
You don't have to tell me. I know what I need to do.
I just think it'd be funny that each time I say it and then I go, okay, Eric, now you.
And we just leave all this in.
Yep, all of it stays in. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, it sounds like we have another caller. Who's on the line?
Hey everyone, this is I Blame My Rolls. I was invited onto the podcast to talk about Animal Crossing for a bit.
Yeah, I Blame My Rolls from our twitch.tv/late for embargo community, famously from the Disco Elysium episode. Everyone should go listen to that. It's a great episode. Yeah, and we have you here to talk about Animal Crossing for a little bit. And one of the interesting things, Blame, that we wanted to talk to you about is that you said in our Discord, I'd love to be on this segment. I have a lot of things to complain about, which is not something I've heard a lot of people say about Animal Crossing New Horizons. I feel like it's been fervorishly positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in a second. I do want to know, Blame, what your history with Animal Crossing is. Have you played any other Animal Crossing games? And if so, how much did you play them? How much did you like them? Kind of thing.
So Animal Crossing, I'm not going to say that I was one of the OG players of it or anything, because I knew it came out. In case you didn't realize, so the first Animal Crossing that came out in America was for the GameCube, but there was a N64 game that came out even before that for Animal Crossing, but that never came to the United States. I had seen that one come out, but I never actually got a copy of it. Sorry, can you hear my cat?
It's fine. It's an Animal Crossing podcast.
Sorry, we're just getting close to my cat's feeding time, and they're getting insistent. But I did play the original GameCube version when it came out, and I've kind of always touched base with Animal Crossing for every expansion that it's come out on. So I played some more than others because, as you guys have experienced, Animal Crossing is one of those games where you kind of need the time and interest to play it to really get deep into it.
For sure.
And that just wasn't, like, in college, I didn't really have a lot of time to do that. So I never really got into some of the ones that came out when I was in college time frame. But I have always enjoyed Animal Crossing. It's always been a game that when I hear a new one is coming out, it's always like, oh man, I can't wait to get back and just have a guilt-free, stress-free gaming environment.
For sure. Excluding New Horizons, do you have like a favorite? Like, which is your favorite Animal Crossing?
Not really. I think Animal Crossing really isn't a game that I would say I can have a favorite in, because this is going to be one of the complaints that I'll get to later on, is that Animal Crossing doesn't change. And there's good in that and there's bad in that. But pretty much once you've played one Animal Crossing, you know what to expect from the rest of them.
Okay. So New Horizons, coming into New Horizons, did you have big expectations? Were you pretty hyped for it?
I would say I had a consistently low-key hype for it. This wasn't like one of the big AAA games coming out of, oh my gosh, I can't wait to, like the hype Doom Eternal had going for it, where this is a brand new AAA game, love's been put into it. Animal Crossing kind of just has that constant, like I said, just that constant of, oh man, it's coming out, I can't wait to play it, but not like, oh my gosh, 10 days till it comes out or anything like that. My biggest expectation for it was just that the last ones to come out were on the 3DS, and the 3DS is all right, but I had never played my 3DS to the extent that I play my Switch and carry it around. And I was just eager to have an Animal Crossing that on a console or a system that I literally have on me pretty much all the time.
Yeah, it seemed like at least like the graphical upgrade from New Leaf to this game was pretty crazy. So getting into New Horizons, we've been in here for what, 2 weeks now, almost 2 weeks. What have you been your impressions so far? What do you think of the game?
I am going to say that it is, if I'm going on a letter scale, I would say that it is an A rank game, but some of the complaints and frustrations I have with the game almost could bring it down to a B.
Okay.
And I'll start with the big one, which is, and I want to talk about this first because both of you guys have experienced it. And this is kind of an overarching thing for Nintendo in general, is that Nintendo just makes clunky online games.
I
know what you're saying is Animal Crossing online. What do you mean? There's just things that are really frustrating trying to link up with people in Animal Crossing, and they hyped this up so much that, oh, this is the Animal Crossing where you can go and visit your friends' villages and you can do things together with them and have fun with them. Yes, that is possible, but but there are just parts of it that are such a hassle and a pain that it almost detracts a lot from the fun of enjoying going to other people's villages. The first thing is just, if I'm inviting people over, I have to sit through like a 30-second cutscene every time somebody new arrives on the island. And it's not just me that has to sit through it. It's, if Logan comes to my island, I have to sit and do nothing for 30 seconds. Logan steps out of the airport, Eric arrives, now it's another 30-second wait cutscene. And it just keeps going for however many people are showing up to your island.
Yeah, that was one of the things we talked about in the kind of the first half of the show, was that we liked that there was the social aspect. We really liked, visiting all your guys' island and you guys coming to our island and exchanging fruit and stuff. But it's such a hassle and such a, like, it just seems so roundabout. And we're in a place where some games are so, seamless, in and out, drop in and out, whatever, that it feels a little dated for Animal Crossing to have this whole, and it's got a fun little animation, right? Like they're descending, the plane's coming down, but it's just this whole like loading screen that kind of sucks. And then it just makes everyone pause, and you have to do it, X and many times because everyone's coming. And when you're on everyone's island, there just isn't a ton to do. And, we talked about we all came to your island and you had kind of that fun little scavenger hunt that you put together, and that was fun, but that's like kind of something that we had to initiate and get a little creative for, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what also bugs me, is that like, again, this goes back to Nintendo, I think, which is, and this is, I would say, a global against around all Nintendo games, is I think they are just so paranoid about their image as being, let's say, the wholesome console system, where there's no, like profanity spewing people online, like on Xbox servers or things like that, that they really limit any game where there's online what you can do in those online things, because they don't want to make they don't want people's online experience to be ruined because of trolls. And so they're so it feels like it would be so easy to implement like a better chat system in the game, or like using voice chat that's not part of their phone app and things like that. So yeah, Animal Crossing feels like, yes, you can go to visit other people's islands, but there's not much point after a set period. Like you trade fruits, you show off your villagers, and then you basically just run around the island and there's nothing else to do.
Yeah. Do you agree, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, I think that summarizes a lot what we said earlier. So I pretty much have all the same points, and it really does come down to Nintendo's online systems aren't good for any other online. Even Smash, which is arguably their biggest online game, has so many.
It is weird because in some ways Nintendo is just on the ball, dude. Like this game is so cool and so good, and in some other ways it's like I just feel like we're 10 years behind. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
My second complaint, just because I'm getting on a roll here, so I'm just gonna get all the I want to get all the negative stuff out, and then I'll talk about the positive stuff.
Yeah, go for it.
I hate the crafting system, but not for the reason you might think I hate the crafting system.
You hate it because it's super tedious. You can only do one thing at a time.
No.
Oh, that's why I hate it.
I could understand that at the beginning, because basically they're building it off of, I would say that this, correct me if I'm wrong, this crafting system feels pretty much exactly like I don't know, like it has very much Breath of the Wild feel to it. Like they want it, like not the crafting itself, but your weapons breaking, constantly needing to get replacements. It's meant to feel like that open world. Okay, I need to constantly gather stuff to keep this going.
Yeah, it definitely does give you a reason to constantly go and get, sticks and wood and stuff, or else you'd probably just ignore most of that.
But that's the thing, is that at the beginning it feels super immersive, which is like, oh, okay, I'm on this deserted island, resources are there, let me make do with what I have. I would say that me and you guys are reaching the point in your village where there doesn't seem to be a point to like break weapons breaking anymore. Like you have a fully functioning, at least I do, I'm starting to have a fully functioning town. I've got a tailor, I've got a shop, I've got museum. Why am I still limited to having weapons break nonstop? And I get that they don't want the system to basically be like, oh, crafting's only relevant in the first week or so. So they're kind of forcing crafting to be relevant the whole time. But after a while, you just have so much wood, so much sticks, so much stone, that the crafting now just feels tedious, because it's not even like, oh, I have to go find the resources. It's, well, I've got a million resources that now I just have to waste time building a new axe every time this breaks.
I think that makes sense.
They do have the golden tools, which you can get, and they take a really long time to break. But they have absurd, like you have to do certain things like an absurd amount of times to get them. Like you have to break like 100 axes before you can get like the golden axe DIY.
Do you want to know what's hilarious? In order to get the net and the fish and the fishing pole, you have to catch every bug and catch every fish.
Really?
So by the time,
Oh, that's a bummer.
So unless you're time skipping, and I will vigorously give disapproving looks to anybody who time skips, but it's like by the time you get that net and that fishing rod, you've already basically gone through an entire year anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
at
because
that
some of those are
point-
even time locked too, so it's like you just gotta wait.
Yeah, so it just I don't have a problem with the crafting system as a whole. I wish you could get to a point in the game where crafting would stay relevant to make furniture, but it was no longer relevant for making tools.
Yeah, it's like here's your final net or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I never really have the like I can totally understand that, and I understand the frustration there. I personally don't really have beef with the tools breaking, but I think that's just because I played so much Breath of the Wild, dude. I've just come to terms with it. You know what I mean?
And then the last things that I have, honestly, this starts getting nitpicky, where there's a ton of stuff that is new for this, but there's also a lot of stuff that got taken out, and I feel like a lot of it is, I don't know, it's just world building stuff. So for the last game, which was New Leaf, you basically had an entire town that you could access and you would see build as people moved in, where you had like Brewster's coffee shop, you had Leaf's gardening shop and everything like that. And the world just felt way bigger than just, the 9 or so villagers who live on your island and the Taylor and Tom Nook's staff, basically. And yeah, people come and visit your island, but as I started getting like the Taylor arriving, I was like, oh, cool. I wonder. I need to start seeing who else is going to try to build a shop here on my island. Once the Taylor gets there, that's pretty much it. Like
Oh, really?
that's the last big building is the Taylor shop. Um, but just as a comparison, in New Leaf, you could build a police station. You could build a recycling center. You could like there was all of this stuff that came with being part of a city, and I just feel like the world feels empty for New Horizons. That's not saying that they aren't substituting some things for it, but I would rather hit a point where I feel like I am making my island more than just a deserted island after a while, where a lot of the services just come from random people showing up.
Yeah. I was ready I thought you were gonna come in here and I was ready to disagree a lot, but I actually think those are all pretty fair. I haven't specifically like, and I don't really have a touch point for other Animal Crossing games, so the last one specifically doesn't really hit me at all. But I think those are all fair. I could see how those would be sort of frustrating and or mildly annoying,
Mm-hmm.
So Blame, I've been seeing you play this game a lot. What do you like about it? I know, there's got to be something keeping you there.
I like that the best part of Animal Crossing is that it is zero stress. And I mean that in multiple ways. The game itself is very relaxing. Like it is just fun to walk around your village and see your villagers walking around with nets or watering. I love watching the villagers gather in my town square and do like yoga in the mornings and stuff like that. I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys. There's loads of little things that you can do just to have fun in the game. Like, did you know that if you bring a radio or any kind of music player outside and play it near a villager, they could start singing along with the song?
Oh, really? That's fun. I didn't know that.
So there's just a whole bunch of stuff you can do, but it's also zero stress in that it's like, I used to play WoW hardcore, like like going into WoW and easily doing 8 hours a day on WoW. WoW is so stressful with daily things you have to do, where it's like, oh, if you want to gain this reputation, you have to be here by 8 o'clock. Oh, if you want to try to get this mount, you have to do this once a week. Oh, like all of this stuff. Animal Crossing, yeah, there's stuff you have to do daily or want to do daily, like watering your plants to help them grow and stuff like that. But if you can't get to it, it's not like your town's going to fall apart. You're not going to come back the next day and like Nook's not going to be on fire or something like that.
Yeah.
It is no stress in that it's like, do as much as you want today. We're not going to like punish you if you aren't able to come here and do it today.
That is cool. I haven't thought about that. I feel like a lot of games that are sort of real time, right? Like Animal Crossing sort of use that to kind of try to keep you hostage. But I don't think Animal Crossing is like that. So I think that's a good point.
Like the most stress that there is, like literally at this point, if you guys have logged on, the Easter event starts today.
Yep, and that's timed.
Right, and there's a time where it's like, oh, by the end of the month, make sure you try to build all of this stuff before the month ends. But it's a month. It's not like, oh, you got to get everything done by today. It's, dude, you've got 30 days. Like, do it at your own pace.
Yeah, that makes sense. Eric, you're a huge Destiny player, yeah? And I know Destiny has sort of that daily, weekly, whatever kind of grind to it. Do you feel similarly that Animal Crossing, or I don't know, do you have opinions on that? Just because I don't really play games that are sort of live service.
Yeah, I don't think Destiny doesn't really have anything daily. I say it has like weekly things you can get done, and it's more about prioritizing like
power gain is like the big thing. But, like once you get to your level cap, it really falls out, and there's really no real time limits anymore. They just reintroduced trials into Destiny, and that's always a weekend thing. So like if you want to play trials, you have to do it Friday through Sunday. Like you can't do it other time. But like they don't really have anything that's really time gated like WoW does, like, especially to the limit of what WoW does. And like Animal Crossing, I'd say is the same way. There's no reason you have to get on Animal Crossing every single, unless
and the game actually helps you out if you can't. Like it was awesome to see Nook Miles. Like, oh, you couldn't get this taken care of today. Well, if you get it taken care of tomorrow, you'll get 5 times the points instead of like. The game is very rewarding. Of do you need to take a break for a couple of days? When you come back, we'll help you get back on your feet again where you should be.
Cool. So just real quick, Blame. I do want to know. So you feel like you're going to keep playing. You like how your island's looking so far.
I'm going to keep playing it. I will say that the novelty's the wrong word. The impetus to play obsessively is dying down for me, where I'm sure I don't know if you guys talked about it already, but the first week or so is very time gated, where it's like, hey, do this by end of today so tomorrow you can get the next step and basically get your town up and running in a orderly fashion.
Yeah.
Where I'm at in the game at this point, it's basically just, hey, you got to wait till you get 10 villagers in your town anyway, so do whatever you want until that happens. And because I don't have, I guess, a clear objective to work towards at this point, I have noticed that I'm kind of playing less. Like, it's not as important for me to try to get, like, make sure I have 30,000 bells by the end of today so I can pay Nook to get the next step of the project done. So, but I do not foresee in the near future a time where I stop playing it. Because even if it's just an hour every morning for me to go in, catch some fish, see who's new on the island, say hi to everybody, and then log off, that's still putting more time in that game daily than I put in a lot of games.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Blame. Is there anything you want to plug before we switch over?
Looking forward to tomorrow. I got Warzone all taken care of, so that should be fun to do.
Yeah, we are. So twitch.tv/LateForEmbargo. The day this comes out on Thursday, what's that? April 2nd. We'll be streaming some Warzone for the first time. So yeah, heck yeah, we'll be doing that tomorrow. Well, today technically. All right, Sam, thank you so much for coming. I blame my roles, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, see you guys around.
See you. Oh, Eric, it looks like we're getting a call. Who is it? Oh, who is this?
It's Shailene and Alex.
Yeah, oh, it's Shailene and Alex. So you guys have both been on the show before. Alex from the Hollow Knight episode and Shailene from the Dragon Age episode, which I will note, 2 of my favorite episodes of this podcast we've ever recorded.
You're just saying that.
I really am not. I made a whole thread on Twitter. There's proof.
Oh,
There's proof.
And you guys are here. You've both been playing Animal Crossing, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys. Have either of you played Animal Crossing before? Is this your first game?
We've both played before.
Yeah, extensive amounts of the previous titles.
I had the original GameCube game, and then I had New Leaf. So just those 2.
I went really hard in New Leaf mostly. I played the GameCube one, obviously, but I was a kid, so I didn't really.
Yeah, I named my first island in the GameCube game Hawaii, but I spelt it wrong, so it's Hawaii. So, that's where I'm at.
It's funny. I actually think from everyone we've talked through today, Eric and I are the only Animal Crossing newcomers.
Oh my gosh.
We're the only scrubs here.
That's interesting because this game is slightly different, and I guess I could talk about that, but I was telling Shailene that in this game there's basically always something you could be doing.
Mm-hmm. Was it not like that in previous games, you feel like?
Previous games, it was more like your days were kind of instance, like this is what you will do today, and then after that, you're just running around.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. And one of the things that we had just talked about before we started recording, and I didn't realize is you guys are playing on the same island, like both of your characters. And so I am curious to know how that's been working. I don't know. I can't even imagine how that works.
So What's nice is that since I'm off work with everything going on and Alex is still at work, I play while he's working, and then he can play afterwards. But so I was the one who started it, so it's technically
Her
like
island.
my island, and he's like a resident. But he can, for the most part, do most of the things that I'm able to do, minus like some infrastructure stuff.
Yeah.
So there's like some things only I can build and only I can do, but he can still contribute like bells towards a new bridge and XYZ stuff like that. But yeah.
So like all the stuff, I don't know how far you guys are, but like all the stuff that like is gated by Tom Nook giving you the DIY or like giving you the like next island progression, she gets, and then eventually I get some sort of side function of that. Like I can basically do everything she can, but like I'm missing a lot of the DIY patterns, and I don't have like the ability to like. I don't think I can start a bridge or like a slope or anything.
We haven't tried him doing it, but usually when I go to build one, like I'll get his input. So like we're all, it's not like I'm just like, okay, the bridge is going here, pay for it. Like we're trying to work it out together.
Yeah.
Like, where do you think this should go? Or where does this go? But I'm the one who puts it down.
The game definitely favors the player one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Do you each get your own house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Oh, cool. Okay. See,
Yeah,
I
so-
kind of know why I assumed you were both kind of. It was like almost the same character, but you each have your own characters
Right.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we each have our own characters. It's just that I'm like what is it called? Like the island representative?
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
resident representative. or
Yeah,
something.
I'm the resident representative and he's just a
I'm just a
islander.
resident.
He just lives there, yeah.
So a lot of the DIY and main game progression stuff is through her. I still have like DIYs and I can still do things outside of her independently, but all of the like major like
like where's the story going?
like
and stuff.
for example, when you got your first 3 islanders,
Mhm.
and Tom was like, "Oh, go pick the plots." She had to do it.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
you know,
okay,
so-
okay.
They gave me the houses. Yeah.
Has that been fun? Have you like enjoyed that?
It's
Yeah,
good
I
and
mean,
bad.
I am enjoying it because I don't really have any consequences of being player 2. So like for me, I'm just the only thing is like sometimes we're like, I don't know if the bridge should go there, but like maybe I really want to put it there, but he's like, so we get kind of like on each other
Yeah.
about that. But he has some gripes about being player 2, at least for a while. Like now you're
Yeah.
not so much because you're finding things to do, but right at the beginning he was kind of annoyed
Yeah,
because he didn't
it's-
feel like he could do as much as me, and like he feels that he's not contributing as much as player 2, if that makes sense.
It's better now that I have more stuff and more DIYs, and like
Mhm.
now that we can do all the turnip trading stuff. It's been a few weeks. That's more fun for me. But like at first, it's very weird because you're like, why does everyone else have mansions and I have like a fucking tent? So it's like it feels
You're like
stupid,
second class. Like,
and you can't do anything about it. It's not like it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I just didn't do the thing she did yet. It's I literally don't have the ability
Option
to
2, yeah.
be better
Yeah.
until the island progresses. So
I thought it was interesting when I first got the game, or when I was about to get the game. I don't know why. I just like kind of assumed that if you had a second account, that you could have a second island. And then I looked it up because I was like, oh, that'd be really fun for like my girlfriend and I. We could each have our own island, but that is not the case.
Yeah.
And then I've seen a lot of tweets that are people like, oh, I wonder if couples who are playing Animal Crossing are like still alive, or I don't know.
Well, that would be a safe assumption because that's how literally every other game works.
Yeah, but we talked about that too. We feel like they probably did that so that you couldn't like just go, because you can travel island to island, right? So
Mhm.
like with like a dodo code or something. So we thought maybe it was like to prevent getting infinite supplies or
Yeah.
something. Like there was some sort of, but it does kind of suck because like people share. It's not like it's just like a handheld, DS or something where you
Yeah, it's
can,
like a full
you can
console.
afford your own. Yeah, it's a full console. It's like $300. So it's like it sucks that they expect you to each get
Yeah.
one. It's kind of a little bit of like a money grab almost.
I think
feel like.
the impetus of it was just to be like, you share an island, it's cool.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think that there was any more thought than that. And I kind of wish that you could make your own, but there's pros to it too, because like all the stuff that she does, I just get the benefit without doing anything. So like,
Yeah.
it's nice.
And you get
but
to
it also-
collectively like kind of get bells for like bridges and stuff. I'm sure that's like maybe
Yeah.
but it does suck because then all the stuff that like I log in one day, I'm like, oh, I didn't do any of this. Okay.
He'll log in and I'll
So-
have like like 4 things built. He's like, okay. But yeah.
So what kind of stuff, even coming from previous Animal Crossings, like what kind of stuff are you guys enjoying in the game? What are you finding, what's keeping you coming back?
So like kind of what he said earlier about always having something to do. So like we were just talking beforehand, like in the old Animal Crossing games, there was kind of like a cap. So like you'd dig up your fossils, you'd catch your fish, you'd catch your bugs, and it's kind of like Okay.
Yeah.
But something new they brought into New Horizons was like the DIYs, especially with like your tools breaking and stuff. So like you could be in the middle of doing something and then like 3 of your tools break. So it's like, okay, now I have to go get all the supplies to make my tools and do all this. So you constantly feel like you could be doing something. As opposed to just like, okay, I caught my 3 fish and I donated them and okay, I'm out of stuff to do.
In the previous games, it was like, okay, I shook all my trees, I have all my fruit, I sold them.
Yeah.
I picked up all the shells off the beach, I sold them. I dug up all the fossils I could, I donated them.
Yeah.
I've talked to all my villagers. Okay, but then that's it, because you couldn't like choose to go to another island and make money for however many hours you want to, just because you couldn't like force a project to be done. You had to like wait.
Yeah.
Because now realistically, you could put a bridge up, and if you wanted to, you could grind out the bells in a day and have to be done with the bridge in a day.
Yeah.
Before it was like, okay, I did my cap, I gave the amount of money I could make because of my cap. It was kind of gated by your cap, more or less.
Yeah, and like the customization is really awesome too.
Yeah, the outfits and stuff.
Oh my god, the outfits are sick.
I didn't.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's all right. I didn't know, obviously I haven't played an Animal Crossing game before, but I was so impressed when I like got the pro designer or whatever, and I'm like, oh dude, I could just make any fit I want. Like I was like making cool Late for Embargo stuff. And I just think it's so dope. Like all the customization is so cool.
It's a lot more robust in this game. Like before, you just had to like buy pre-made stuff, but realistic. Like
you could make stuff, but it wasn't like that in detail.
Yeah. Like you couldn't on baseball caps and stuff. You couldn't like choose what design you want on the side and front and on the cap and on the brim and the little button on the like. On Twitter, if you go on Twitter, there's people wild and on Twitter. I have a Teddy Fresh sweater. I have like
I made a pudding hat.
I made like 6 different outfits because I've decided my villager's a dad. So I have like a sports dad where I made like a Green Bay Packers hat and like a sports classes.
Business daddy.
Yeah.
He calls every outfit like something daddy.
Just cosplaying Daddy Dating Simulator on that.
My backyard has like a fireplace and a grill and a lawnmower.
A hose, like a garden hose. Oh my god, that's really cool too. Like being able to put furniture outside. I don't think that was a thing before.
I can't remember,
but I don't think it was. But they're like encouraging you to really like design pretty much everything, which is really, really awesome.
And not to go back to that point, but the thing about the progression where like there's always something you could do is the Nook Miles thing. Is because like you could potentially do that all day if you wanted to.
Yeah, because you just keep getting the goals.
Yeah. So that's like something else too. It's a little different because like the game before was much more slow paced, like kind of just enjoy this. And a lot of people on this one are saying, well, it seems like there's too much to do, and I don't know if I like it or not. I like it because then you can choose how you want to play. If you want to grind out, you can. If you still want to play it the old way, you can. I prefer it this way, in my opinion.
I like your point about like making your character like a sports dad guy. Because I basically just made my character like how I wish I looked. Like I had like cool e-boy like glasses and like I'm wearing like jorts and like shorts. And I made the shirt with like the Mike Boy on it and the sweater and stuff. And I've just been living my best life in Animal Crossing.
You have the Mike Boy sweater design.
You posted that on Twitter, didn't you?
Yeah. Actually, I think now I could post the code, so I'm gonna go back tonight and do that.
Do it. That's awesome.
Yeah, literally.
Telling Alex, the person who literally designed the logo. Here, you use ours.
Yeah, you can use this. But I know I say it every time I talk to you, but I literally thank God every day for this Mike Boy. I think it's the coolest thing about my life. That we have this cool brand thing that I love to look at.
That's so awesome. I love that.
I was gonna say something else now. We should be on each other's islands because I want you.
Yeah. Actually, I'll literally message you guys my friend code after this. I've seen a lot of people posting theirs, and I'm just like, it's just so much work to go add everyone. But I'll definitely do it for you guys.
Okay.
Eric, do you have any final questions for these guys?
No, not really. I think I already added Alex on.
Yeah, you did. I'm pretty sure you did. But I want to check your turnip prices.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, dude, I've been waiting. I'm so nervous about these turnips.
I didn't know she leaves at noon on Sunday, so I wasn't able to get her.
I missed him on Sunday too.
If you don't have turnips, and I don't know how you feel on this morally, but you can time travel backwards and buy them.
That seems
if you
like
buy them,
that seems like a lot of work.
It's okay. Well, I missed it because I was working, and then
on Sunday.
Well,
I'd say that's fine.
Ah,
Just because
I
you're not like
only-
you're
I
not
play
like
the game however you want.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
That's the only
Yeah.
time I've time traveled. We haven't time traveled to like get progress on stuff. I just missed the window, so I went back to buy it and then came forward.
I've also said it before. I really don't care if anyone's time traveling. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
don't
doesn't
care.
bother me.
Play it however. I used to time travel like in New Leaf. That's all I would do. I'd be like, bitch, I'm gonna do whatever I want. But in this one, like I've been trying to, day by day.
If the turnips behave the same they did in the last game, then there's different patterns you can follow. So I want to see what your guys' are, so I can exploit you.
He's asking everybody.
for sure. We will keep you posted on the. I saw a meme today that was like the Bernie Sanders one, and he was like, "I'm once again asking you for your turn-up prices."
That's a good
Good
one.
giggle. Anyways, is there anything you guys want to plug? Your Twitters or anything like that?
Wanna fight punk on Twitter?
Plex also, I guess.
Flex Austin.
Plexaul. No, how do I spell my last name?
I don't know.
Aulse.
Yes. There we go.
Anyways, I will. We'll put that all in the description and stuff. Thank you guys so much for coming on, and obviously you're welcome back anytime.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
Let us know.
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, what's this? Beep 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 beep, beep. Oh, Eric, it looks like we got a call. Should I answer it? What do you think?
I think you should answer it.
All right. So you're on the line with Generic Gaming Podcast on MP3. Who is this?
this is Adam, friend to Eric and Logan.
Yeah, Adam, you have been on the show a couple of times, couple different episodes. So everyone is right familiar with you. But we are here to talk about Animal Crossing. Adam, I was sort of surprised that you got Animal Crossing for some reason. Are you an Animal Crossing fan? Like, had you played a game? Like, had you played an Animal Crossing game before this?
Not really. The literal only familiarity with Animal Crossing was Villager and Smash Bros. That's about the extent of knowledge with Animal Crossing. But I have a lot of friends that like love that series, and so I wanted to give it a try. I've been kind of in like a game drought lately, so I thought this would be like a fun new thing to try.
So were you planning on getting it like before it came out, or did it kind of come out and you kind of got like
Literally I just saw hype like on launch day and I was like, I'm just gonna get it, and I just kind of impulse got it.
That is how Eric and I get a lot of games.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much. That's how I also got this game, is buying into the FOMO.
Yeah.
So this is your first Animal Crossing game, Adam. Just like us, this is our first Animal Crossing game. What are you thinking about it? Just kind of overall impressions. What do you think about the game?
I think it's really fun. It's like, I don't know. It's a lot of like busy work, and like kind of satisfying to get like tasks done. I guess like I don't. It's really satisfying. I guess would be like a word I would kind of describe it as. I guess. Yeah, it's fun.
We talked about it like a chore list, kind of, where it's like it's really satisfying to just check those boxes, you know?
Right. Yeah. I think like it's cool because every day you have like the same kind of routine, but then there's like different things like, for instance, obviously every day you want to check your island for fruits, fossils, and shit like that. And then you basically also have like the kind of newer things that happen every day. Like let's say you get like a visitor every day and you have like a little mini quest. Like I ran into, everybody like has run into Gulliver. I ran into this like ghost named Wisp at night. So it's like, I don't know, there's like little like different things every day, but then there's also, like you said, like the chore list where you just get like the kind of more mundane tasks done every day, but it's like, I don't know, it's fun.
I haven't seen this ghost. Have you seen this ghost, Eric?
Yeah, I've seen the ghost. You go around and like collect his like wisps because he's afraid of ghosts.
He's a ghost.
Yeah, you basically,
Yeah.
you basically like talk to him and he gets scared and he like explodes into 5 different pieces, and then you gotta go around the island and collect them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Adam, you've also been out here grinding. You called me yesterday and you were saying that Slick was at your island and you were like doing this whole tarantula scheme.
I was acquiring the bag last night. I was farming for literally like hours because I got this villager. I don't know if he comes regularly at a certain time or if it's completely random, but he showed up on my island yesterday, and I heard that he sells bugs for 1.5 times the price. And tarantulas obviously are like, I think, the highest selling bug right now. So I use like this farming method. I use this farming method that's been, circulating on Twitter a lot, where you basically just go on a Nook Mile island, you just buy a ticket and you go to one of those, and you basically just demolish everything, and you dig up trees and flowers and and rocks, and until it's completely just flat grass. And then tarantulas spawn like regularly, so all you have to do is just scare any of the other bugs that aren't tarantulas, like wharf roaches and tiger beetles are the most common ones. So you just kind of run around and you scare off those, and then eventually it'll cycle through and you'll get tarantulas like pretty frequently. So I just filled up my inventory. It usually takes about like 45 minutes. I did it like 3 or 4 times yesterday. I got about like almost 500,000 every time I filled up my inventory.
Damn. So
Yeah.
you had like over 1 million. You had over 1 million bells yesterday.
Yeah.
Just rolling in them.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
roll.
it was pretty crazy. Especially here, the thing is too is if you have the plaza, you can also buy another expansion on your inventory. So you know how you start out with like 3 slots or 3 rows,
Mhm.
and then you
Yeah.
can buy a 4th row with Nook Miles. But after you
Yeah.
get the plaza, you can buy a 5th row. Or I think I might be getting that wrong. You might start out with 2 and then 3.
Yeah, I
and
think
then
it's
4.
2
I
and
don't
then 3 and then 4.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, after I got the 4th inventory row, like then you can really start stacking the tarantulas and yeah, so it's kind of crazy.
It's interesting how much of this game is like, I feel like it onboards you pretty well, right? Like it kind of explains the basics, but there's a lot of like stuff that I feel like you kind of just have to hear about like on Twitter or like from your friends like that, right? Like I didn't even know that was a thing on the islands for the tarantulas. Or like with the rocks, you know how like if you dig holes behind yourself, like when you're gonna hit the rocks, you can like get more hits out.
Yep.
So I don't know, it is interesting. It just feels like there's all these like hidden mechanics almost, like things that you just kind of like are supposed to know.
Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely seeing like a lot of new stuff every day.
And are you like looking up and like reading about this stuff, or are you hearing about it like from your friends who are playing Animal Crossing?
Mostly from my friends. I mean, I see like viral stuff on Twitter, but most of it's like from my friends, and there's like a group chat that's I'm also in, where everybody just basically like shares info and trading stuff and all that.
Very cool. Is there been anything that do you have any gripes with the game so far? We're a couple weeks in or whatever. Is there anything that you're like, oh fuck, this is like just frustrating?
Yeah, I think I mean, there's this one particular item called the wand, and it's basically you can store outfits on a like, almost like a weapon wheel kind of thing, kind of like how you have a tool ring, how you can like cycle through your tools with a weapon wheel kind of thing. Well, it's an item that is like that for outfits. So you can pre-make these outfits and you can just choose like on the fly instead of having to go back home and go to your wardrobe and like change. You basically just have like a bunch of outfits like on you, which is super cool. But the way it works is kind of annoying because you can't edit your wand outfits or even change until you change out of your wand outfit, because the way it works is that it's like a skin. You're not actually wearing that outfit. So you still have an outfit underneath the one that you equip. So that's kind of annoying. And then also you have to, let's say you have like a favorite shirt, or like, I have a pair of glasses that I really like. And you have to buy that as many times as you make outfits, because
that's
shit. Yeah, because like, you can't reapply, like let's say you want an outfit but with like 2 different things on it. You have to rebuy those things and apply it because they're used up and out of your inventory and storage when you put them on the wall.
Oh man,
so
that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Actually, that doesn't, and it feels like that's like unnecessary.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Like I don't know, you just have to buy it. You have to go to you either have to find it or buy it in the catalog again. You can only buy up to like 5 things per day, I think, on the Nook catalog at the ATM or whatever. But yeah, that was kind of frustrating. I was like, okay, so I basically have to rebuy the same pair of glasses or this pair of pants or shoes that you like over and over again until you have enough to fill out like your whole wheel thing. But yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even built the wand. Have you built the wand, Eric?
I didn't even know this was a thing. No.
Okay, so to build a wand, you have to have like a meteor shower in your island. So like a villager will be like, I think a shooting star is going to be here tonight or whatever. They'll say something that alludes to it happening tonight. And then when it gets dark out, if you look up, if you like tilt your analog stick up, and you'll be looking at the sky, every time you'll see like these little like shooting stars or meteors fly by, and if you press A, you'll prey on it, and then like an animation will happen in the sky that like basically tells you that you you prayed or whatever the hell. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's like a weird like I don't even know what animation that is, but yeah. So basically, the next day after you do that, you'll have a bunch of star fragments that land on your beach, and then you collect those, and then that's what you use to craft the star.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Adam, do you have any final thoughts about Animal Crossing? You feel like you're going to keep playing for the time being?
Yeah, I literally looked at my play log and I was like, holy shit, I've had this game for like a week and I've already put in like 70 hours. It's like,
oh shit,
damn,
insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I have like 40 hours in, and I thought that was a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of like insane. I'm surprised I'm like playing that much, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep working on my island and stuff. And right now I'm just focused on like home decorating because I kind of haven't gotten around to that until like yesterday. So yeah.
How far
Very
along
cool.
is your house?
Huh?
How far along is your house?
Pretty far along. I have well, yesterday when I got like a ton of money, I paid off the 4th loan. I think it was like I forgot which one it was, but basically I have I'm gonna have 3 rooms now. So yeah, so it's coming along. I got a pink roof, you know.
Ooh, I got purple.
I also have purple.
Nice. Yeah, I had purple the first 2 upgrades, and I changed to pink.
Well, purple is our
yeah,
whole
and then-
aesthetic.
Yeah, that is true. I saw the Mike Boy sweater. That was super sick. You have to share that QR code with your audience so that people.
Yeah,
can wear
actually,
it.
I finally got Able and Sable or whatever, so I think I'm gonna do that tonight. Maybe I'll go in and get the code and share it because I made a cool shirt too. So I have like the sweater and the shirt.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, Adam, do you have anything you want to plug at Twitter or anything like that?
I mean, sure. I guess my Twitter is AJNOKOVIC. And yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, well, thank you so much for being on the show. You're welcome back anytime, and we'll see you later.
See ya.
Bye, Adam.
Goodbye. All right, everyone. Thank you so much to all of our guests for coming on, and we love having guests on. And if you're listening, you'd like to be a guest, reach out. Who knows? But I'm going to outro the show. But before I do that, I'm going to put on this scarf because this is my outro scarf now.
Are you just gonna put it on every time we end a show now?
Yeah, that's going to be the tradition now, is that I put on this big scarf.
It's gonna be like 80 degrees in the summer, and we'll be just sweating, and you'll be like, okay, I'll put this fucking scarf on.
It's already a little hot, I'm not going to lie. Everyone, this has been the Generic Gaming Podcast.mp3. Thank you so much for listening. Please tune in next week when Doom Guy comes on and murders Eric because he is a dirty demon. Anyways, we love you, unless you suck, in which case we don't, and you should probably work on that. Have a good one.